Did y'all know that the Bible says that snakes used to once walk and that science confirms this? Man, check this out, y'all. Fossil evidence. Ancient snake fossils like the Nahash discovered in Argentina shows that snakes had well-developed hind limbs. Some fossils even show a pelvis and leg bones, clearly indicated that snakes once had limbs that was used for walking, crawling. They once had limbs used for walking and crawling. Here's the crazy thing about it. However, mutations in regulatory parts of these genes, the genes that is talked about, modern snakes still carry these genes, and it's called the sonic hedgehog gene and the hoax genes. So these snakes today still carry these genes, the sonic hedgehog genes and the hoax genes. However, the mutations in these parts of the genes, especially the limb enhancers for their legs to come out, means these genes are now switched off. So it's not like the legs just disappeared and stuff like that. The legs are still, the genes to grow the legs are still there. It's just someone turned the switch off. Someone just went like and just turned it off. So look, so remember what I said about the Nahash that was found, discovered in Argentina, the fossil evidence of that they developed the hind limbs. So now let's go into see what the Bible says. Genesis chapter 3 verse 14. So the Lord said to the serpent, because you have done this, you are cursed more than all the cattle and more than every beast in the field. On your belly you shall go, and you shall eat the dust all the days of your life. Because the serpent has done what? We know the fall of man, when the serpent deceived Eve. When Eve got deceived and she passed the fruit to her husband got the fruit. It was a whole event of being cursed. The woman got this, the man got this, but then the serpent, this is what his curse was. The serpent was to crawl on your belly for the rest of your days, and you shall eat the dust of the field, man. And what's so crazy about it is the word serpent there, when it says, so the Lord said to the serpent, the word serpent there in the Hebrew word for serpent is, look, Nahash, which is what the fossil evidence discovered in Argentina. It was in a Nahash when they seen that, look, man, they have well-developed hind limbs. They also have pelvis and leg bones, clearly indicating that snakes once had limbs. This was in Argentina, and this snake right here was called the Nahash. So Satan embodied in the garden, Satan embodied a Nahash. That serpent is what he embodied. So to this day, snakes now slither and they slide on their stomach. They no longer walk, but that genes are still there, but someone turned the switch off. Who could have turned that off? If you look at the Bible in Genesis 3 chapter 14, it tells you who switched it off. It was a curse. Soon as he did that curse, hey, you won't be able to do this no more. Now you're gonna have to crawl and slither like this. But the thing about it is, snakes got the punishment, but snakes is not Satan. Satan just embodied a vessel of a Nahash to speak and deceive Adam and Eve. So that's what Satan did. He embodied a Nahash to deceive them, but the punishment went to the serpents, snakes. So that's why we see snakes doing that right now, crawling on their belly and stuff like that, because that was the curse. So it was not, a lot of people believe that when they see a snake, oh man, that's Satan. When you see a snake, that doesn't mean that that's Satan. Yeah, Satan used the Nahash in the garden, just like some people, they see cats and, oh, that's witchcraft, that cat is witchcraft. Yes, cats could be used, any kind of animals could be used in witchcraft, but it doesn't mean that the cat itself is demonic because it's a cat, or the snake itself is demonic because it's a snake. The snake was embodied by Satan, embodied the snake. He needed a vessel to speak. Remember, Satan is a spirit. He needed a vessel to speak to Eve And then once he spoke to Eve and deceived both Adam and Eve, man, his curse was that. But what do we get out of this? Once again, science proves that God is real.